Greetings, everybody. Amar here, and I'm doing a recap of the $520 million drawing. I was wrong. I thought that sales would go up to like 555, but apparently the sales surged and it only went up 1 million, which I thought was weird because that's not much of a surge. So somebody won $521 million. It was an out-of-state winner. It was New Jersey. And these were the winners here: 11, 28, 31, 46, 59. And you can see them here. Here's 11, 28, 31, 46, and 59. My lovely combinations are these red arrows here. These are the ones that I played. I played 7, 14, 28, 38, 40, and the number 26. Those are all wrong, so those are all little unhappy faces. The only one I got right was the 46. All right, so if you look, it was in a streak, right? The flag formation. You had the 9-7 symmetry here, the decrease, the upstroke to the 6, and then you had a bottom to the 46. It was a 6-5 bottom. Now 5 is also symmetrical to the 7. The 11 that came out here was also symmetry. 9 is symmetrical to 10. It's also still decreasing. 22 to 10 to 9. The 28 over here is also symmetry. The 7 is a bottom to the 5. The 7 is a bottom to the 9. So you had dual symmetry. You had symmetry from 7 to 5 and symmetry from 7 to 9. All right, so it's a streak. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. All right, that's why cold numbers are still dangerous. You still have like a 22 here. It's out 34 drawings. All right, now there is a new chart in the gold program that will help with these long periods. I'm not going to go over that in this video. That's a much more advanced chart that I don't think anybody's even aware of, because it's not in the Advantage. Well, it is in the A+ program, but in A+, it doesn't make any sense. I can never make heads or tails of it. And with the gold, they added a chart. So the original chart that's similar to gold, to plus, doesn't make any sense still. It's a little bit easier to see because it has colors that highlight and change. But the new chart is a novel chart, and like I said, I'm not going to get into that here, but it is a good chart for the Mega Ball. Very good chart for the Mega Ball, and I would suggest that everybody uses it if they're playing this game. Now, since the jackpot was won at 521 million, I will not be playing, but I will keep my predictions. And basically, there's no new predictions. Basically, just going to keep the old numbers, right? Because changing your numbers is not necessarily a good thing. And that's why I don't really believe in the quick pick strategy, even though a lot of people push it. I don't think Gail spoke highly of the quick pick strategy, and she did actually do a little bit of data in regards to the percentages of tickets won by winners who had used quick picks and people that used their own numbers. Of course, there's that freehand theory that you could use, which I have done, because another pattern to look at is the pattern on the play slip. And for my pick 5, I looked at all the particular patterns, and there's like a zigzag kind of pattern. And I got 3 numbers in the Powerball on one line by using that pattern. And that wasn't really smart luck, I guess, even though it's partly smart, but it was smart luck mixed with dumb luck, and that's what this is basically, because you're You're giving giving luck a helping hand, which is basically Gale's whole philosophy, turning a game of luck into a game of skill. The bald guy that played a lot, well, all the athletes, they all get out their money wads when the jackpot gets big, and they just throw like whatever $1,000 of quick picks, which is not a smart strategy, guys. That's stupid, and that's why you guys are playing basketball. No offense, you guys are talented. A lot of you guys went to college, but God knows you didn't study in college. You basically use your athletic ability, and that's fine. I'm not saying that's the wrong thing, but don't go to lotto and think you're an expert or a genius by throwing $10,000 in quick picks. So Charles Barkley, I think it was him. If there's other athletes that you're aware of, put them in the comments. But I think that's the one, the bald guy. But there's another Knick player that I'm thinking as well, that I can see his face in my mind, but I can't place his name. Anyway, so what I'm going to do to indicate the picks that I'm going to keep, I'm just going to put another little happy face. All right, down here. Actually, that guy's not happy. He's unhappy. This one, we were able to turn that frown upside down. So we're going to put a little neutral guy, I guess. He'll be the picks. And let's see. So where is he? There he is. We're going to stick with the number 1 because now you have 2-3 strip symmetry, even though the skip is increasing. I don't like increasing skips. Never did, never will. But it's still a bottom, right? And technically you would have to test the bottom of the 8s over here. This is still the long shot here. The 3. Now it's at 18, 19, 20 games. And you can see the more picks you get, the more complicated it gets to keep track of them. This is kind of a novel way, the only way I can figure out how to make my picks is in Excel. It's easier way. Here is the 21 smart picks for the next drawing, which is a lot. The smart picks generally suck, and I think most people would agree with that the algorithm has to be changed somehow. Now, the reason why I don't want to change your picks is because if you have your Lottery Master Guide, and I suggest that you buy it if you have no idea of the patterns and stuff in the book or nothing, no background. It's a good book. I have it. My cousin in Texas, he gave me a new one, which is great. The print is smaller. But on page 30, what page is it? I'm sorry. On page 133, the Lottery Master Guide are the lotto win frequency charts. Okay, these are showing as trademark. I don't know. I did see another website that had them in better format. But basically, they tell you the odds of your numbers being within a pool of 10 numbers. All right, so the odds of getting all 5 numbers out of your pool of 10 are about 1 in 11,000, or 11,000 to 1. I don't know. But the copyright on that book is 2003, and the largest matrix is 53 numbers in this book. So this was way before the matrix changes to 75. I'd like to see the lotto win frequency charts for 75 numbers. That would have to be in the new edition of the Lottery Master Guide if it ever comes out. Hopefully I'll be able to help write that and explain the charts and the new charts that I would like to have put into the book. Into the program. So let's get back here. I'm going to continue to just keep these numbers. So I'm not going to change the numbers. What's the point of changing the numbers? I was in a lottery pool with my family. And, oh, happy Easter, everybody. By the way, hope you all had a good time with your family. I've had my Easters have been interesting since my mother died. So the last 2 Easters have been kind of unusual because my mother was usually the one that always organized Easter, and now that she died, it seems like the whole family is in kind of disarray as far as what to do, and we haven't had the usual traditional foods. So this year I got to spend time with my new family, which was kind of interesting. It was a first with the family I've never been with. That is now technically my new family. because my cousins. So anyway, hope you guys had a blessed holiday. And so let's get back. We have here the 17 we're going to keep because we're still looking at the symmetry. I'm going to have to figure out another way to keep these things organized, because as you get more and more, as you hold your numbers longer and longer, I'm going to have more and more happy faces. It's going to start to look ridiculous and hard to manage. So I'll just figure that out as we go. Now this 33 is now gone from a quick return at 3 games, okay, into a reverse flag. 17-4 is now a reverse flag. So I guess I would call that a second anticipation, right? In the Lottery Master Guide, Gail Howard talks about anticipating numbers. You really have to think about how you're going to anticipate your numbers. I think there's actually 3 stages of anticipation. You got a first stage, your first anticipation, then your second anticipation. Your first anticipation is always the trend reversal, technical correction, hot skip, quick return. Your second anticipation is the reverse cascade, reverse flag, backdoor entry. That's what I used to call it in my mind. But let me not digress too much into these terminologies until I put it in my own book. Let's see here. So we'll keep that. I do like the reverse flag at 4 games and 5 games better than 6. I prefer 4 as my limit because those do happen and they're just smaller than 5, so makes them cheaper. So it's a little neutral guy here. So these are all neutral picks because we don't know what's going to happen. They might become unhappy. They might become sad. They're not sad yet, so I shouldn't have 2 sads here. Actually, there are 2 sads because they missed. So we did get the 46 again, which was good. We're going to keep it because we're going to look for a downstroke in the flag formation. And looking at the high numbers, I picked the adjacent for the 58, right? Now we all know when you look for the adjacent, it repeats. And when you look for the repeat, it comes out adjacent. So you might have to have 2 coverage wheels in that case to cover those phenomena. It's harder to track adjacents in Excel than it is to repeats. I have made a positional repeater chart. Should be added to Gold, hopefully, if you guys are lucky. If not, you guys are gonna have to wait to learn about it. So we had a repeater. This 59 repeated 3 times in a row. So don't think that a number can't, hit like lightning, right? Lightning fast. That's what I used to say, and I still believe it. The 5th position number repeated. So the symmetry is still here, right? 5 to 4. It would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th number in the streak. So we're gonna hold that 5. We're gonna hold that we're gonna hold it. So let's see. Is this where it goes? I don't remember. Well, I guess I'll put it here. 58, right? We're gonna keep it. This didn't align properly. That's why my brain is a little befuddled here. But anyway, the point is here is that oh no, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what I messed up. It's supposed to come down. All right. So same number again. Not looking at any other new patterns. Let's see, what was the other number that came out? Don't remember. 31. The 31. Okay, so there was more symmetry there. All right. The 18 skip was symmetrical to the 19 here. 19 equals 18. So that's why we That's why that would be considered a smart pick, or a good choice, rather. And then last but not least, I did put in the Powerball, or Mega Ball, really. Um, so the PB says it's Powerball. It should be MB, really Mega Ball, but I think it's Powerball by PB by default. I picked the 12. Actually, I meant to pick the 11 as a hot skip. I filled out the card wrong. It was a 12, which I wouldn't have picked. But this 12 here would be like a reverse cascade off of the 25. So far, I haven't found a good pattern for this Mega Ball. The pattern that I usually use to pick my Mega Balls and Power Balls, I've not seen it yet in the game. You could possibly go by a little bit of adjacents. I will mention a symmetry that I pointed out, and eventually I'll get into the best chart in Advantage Gold to use to pick the bonus ball, in my opinion. This number 18 here, okay? 21, skip 21. Symmetry, off of the 22. So if you're going to play, you might think to keep the 18 in. The other number I thought that was interesting was the number 9. That kind of goes with this adjacent streak. All right, so let me see if I put in just another object here to show the adjacent streak. So this little arrow kind of deal here, I put these in. Actually, I didn't have to get a new arrow. I have arrows already. So these would be just like an adjacent thing. One way to look at the Powerballs, try to see how the movement fits the pattern. Of course, here, perhaps you could have extrapolated to the one over here. Who knows? But anyway, this is the gold before cold phenomena I had mentioned here, the skip family, and that's about it. So comments, questions, subscribe. I'm going to put a link to my Facebook group. It's the Amar Gail Howard Lotto on Facebook. You can search it. There are a couple questions you got to answer to get in, unfortunately. So if you have the book, you can refer to it. If not, buy it, go to the library, take it out, and answer those questions, and I'll let you in. Because I need people who are active and do the work and see this and can play in a pool. I want to get a pool for Florida. Competing pools. I want to get 3 pools. I'm going to be the captain of one of those pools, and I'm going to compete. I like to go up against Scott, and I like to go up against the Dreamer. All right. So that would be 3 pools, and I think that would be kind of cool. And even Joe can get involved in it, because the fact that he's in Florida and he hasn't hit like 20 jackpots, to me, shows that he doesn't know the system as well as he alludes to. Because I would have fucking hammered Florida. Florida is gonna get hammered pretty soon, which is good and which is bad, because maybe they'll have a matrix change and then you'll know, or something, they got threatened. But I like to get a win. We'll get them some Mega Million wins too. They get a lot of publicity for that or whatever. But anyway, let me not digress and let me not get too far ahead of myself. But yeah, that's about it. So the same 10 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This little red arrow we can bring down. Doesn't need to be glaring in the face of the little guy. And that's it. So I will not be playing, because I technically boycotted this game since it went to $2. I did play the $1 billion Powerball jackpot. There was no way I could not play it, so I broke my fast with that jackpot, and I played about $25, and I think I won about 13. So that's not so terrible, considering I hadn't played in ages. And this is just for observational things, because I think my entry point is $500 million. $500 million, I'll get into the game. All right, I did the workout for the last drawing at 458. I bought a ticket at 521 million, but that's my entry point. 500 million. So if you're interested in more workouts or more advice on your particular game, find me on Facebook, and that's Amar Gail Howard. Actually, I'm sorry. It's Amar GH Lotto. So Amar Gail Howard Lotto, but it's Amar GH Lotto. And I'll put the link down in the bottom. And good luck, everybody.